Well, hey there guys, it's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Welcome back to another day in my 2020 beekeeping season. We're going all the way from winter through to the next fall here in my small operation in southeast Louisiana. Hey, and guys, don't forget, if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Alright, so here I am guys, I'm standing in front of this gigantic tree stump. This is a little different video today. I'm not really going to be doing any bees necessarily. Today's video is talking about some damage to one of our subscribers on this channel, Hives. His name is Justin. He follows the 2020 beekeeping season, and he lives west of here, and I'll talk about him a little bit more. But what I want to talk about is Hurricane Laura that came through, and how West Louisiana, Southwest Louisiana, Central West Louisiana is still dealing with a lot of cleanup and will be dealing with a lot of cleanup for a long time. I know what it's like. I was living in Pearl River for Hurricane Katrina, and the devastation, until you've seen it, and some of you may have, until you've been there to watch it and see what's happened, it's unbelievable. And the cleanup and recovery is monumental. It's something I had never seen before at that level. I'd seen hurricanes, been through many of them down here when I was living over in far east Louisiana, and been through them here as well, where I'm at now, and it is no fun. Laura missed us. It missed us. We got some breezy winds. We got rain bands. In West Louisiana, man, it's tough. East Texas as well. You just got to keep those folks in your prayers for strength and a lot of endurance, because it's it can really, you go in strong. A lot of times you can come into it and you can go, okay, I can get this, I got this, and the deeper you go, it starts beginning to, you realize it's worse, and you're like, oh my gosh, and then pretty soon it can be overwhelming. And if not for the grace of God, when we had Katrina come through, it would have been very, very overwhelming. But keep them in our prayers, keep them in our thoughts, and if there's anything you can do, if you know of a legitimate charity or what have you, or source that's helping them, by all means, give to them if you can. You know, it's just tough. It's tough. So, but anyway, I'm standing in front of this stump, and this tree going down had nothing to do with hurricanes. It was a November 2019 storm. This is a water oak that was a water oak. It was gigantic. You see, I'm 6'2", and I'm at the base of it, and it's up to here where we cut the stump. It's a good 2.5 to 3 feet across. It was a big tree. This happened in a thunderstorm. I knew it needed to come down sooner or later. It had a rotten spot part of the way up that a possum lived in for a while, and it destroyed one of my hives. This is the remnants of the tree, okay? This was a water oak. The water oaks in the south down here are terrible trees. They can look pretty, guys, but let me tell you what, you see that? That's normal for the inside of one when they get this old. You can see it in that one. And what these things do is they crack and fall. They drop branches constantly, and they're a pain. You notice the angle of that pine. This water oak was so large, the canopies in these things are huge, and they cover so much ground you wouldn't even realize it until it's on the ground. That's when you realize just how large these things are. It's spread out. You can see my live oak, there's still a branch in it. It hit this pine tree, knocked it sideways, it's leaning. And this was a year ago. I haven't done anything with it, so, but you can see it spread out, hit my live oak. It spread all the way over. It was all the way out. It was all the way out to that pine, well out there. It was just everywhere. It's gigantic. You don't realize how much land these things cover until they're on the ground. And of course, the bottom of this rotten pine, a swarm moved in a few months ago. All right, so here comes Hurricane Laura. Everybody's prepared. There's just not, you prepare your home, you prepare everything else, but really when it comes to hives, most you can really do is strap them down if you know you're going to be right in the storm. Other than that, I don't do a lot for them. But I want to show you a clip, and this again is a subscriber named Justin. Now, he is, and this is up in a small town I've been through that town years ago. I don't remember it, but I had to look it up to see where it was. It's west of Alexandria, and let me tell you, that's an hour north of the coast, and that thing was still a Category 2 when it went through there. That was a bad storm, but it came on up. It stayed at Category 1 all the way as far north as Shreveport and Monroe, so it was really doing some devastation. And Justin sent me these video clips, and I'm just glad that his home and everything's fine. Hives can be replaced, hives go on. But so anyway, Justin sent me these video clips of what happened to his hive in his bee yard. He literally had just set up, I think he said a week or two before this storm came through. Okay guys, so that was Justin's yard. He had just set up prior to Hurricane Laura. And bottom line, this video is going to show what happened to that bee yard. But when he approached me about posting his videos, he didn't post on YouTube. He just he said, hey, you can maybe post them on your channel. I said, sure, it's up to you, totally up to you. I don't mind. Tell me what you want to say. He said, no, just do what you need to do. And he said, maybe suggest where to set up bee yards. Maybe you could use that as an example. Well, Justin, I can't do that because I'm not a how-to guy, and honestly, your bee yard looks set up a whole lot safer than what I have set up. I would have done nothing different. You had a nice location, and you just can't predict these storms. This tree that came down on top of my one little hive was a November thunderstorm. Look at Iowa, man. They just went through that derecho, they call it. Basically, it was a hurricane in the middle of the country is what it was. It was straight line winds. It just destroyed grain bins, storage, grain bins, barns, shelters, homes, trees down everywhere. It's just nothing you can predict. Like I said earlier, you can only do so much for beehives, and your yard looks secure as it could be. So I can't really use this as a how to set up a beehive because I set one up well away from a tree, still was had, and I've got them over there. They're under all kind of water oaks and oaks they may look beautiful, but they have shallow root systems. And you can have a old scraggly looking pine and it ain't nothing beautiful, but that taproot goes straight down and they usually break off and have a problem. But oak trees, their roots spread. And when the ground gets really saturated, especially during tropical storms, you get a ton of rain and then you get wind over top of them, they just pull right up. Water oaks, as you see, they just break. This was a red oak. Different oaks, act different ways, but I personally have plenty of hives set up under trees, so it's just a convenient place in my yard. It faces the right way I like it to face. It's in the shade when I work them in the evening, so not much I can do with that, I look at Justin's yard and how he set it up. Well, I would have done nothing different. So I want to show you when he went to check on his hives after the storm passed, what he found.
There's a bee yard in there. I gotta figure out how to get to it. I got a 4-foot tree sitting on top of it. That was my gate right there. I did have about 18 hives in here. Wow. Every stinking hive. Every hive is hit. It didn't spare one hive. Wow. Complete loss.
You can hear in his voice the disappointment, the discouragement. He had some good looking hives in that yard. Those hives looked strong. They had bees on the front, most of them, and you know, just a good looking yard. And to see that, man, that's a mess. You just don't know. These trees, when they come down, they cover so much land. And so, yeah, you know, there was an oak next to it, but I mean, you don't plan for hurricanes. You can only plan so much for hurricanes. So, you know, you got to work with what you got. And if hurricanes come, you just got to hope for the best. Man, just some devastation. So, man, my heart goes out to him on that. I know what it's like to lose a bunch of hives, but man, to lose them like he did and the work he has to do now, it's quite a monumental task in front of him. So, here's what he did do. Let's take a look at what he was able to salvage.
I've been chainsawing for maybe a couple hours now. Kind of got a trail. The road's over there. I came in from the back side. The other side, the tree was just too big to carry stuff out. But putting on my nasty stuff over there, which is 90%. Took me forever to cut this trail in here, but there was 17 double deep hives right here, and I don't know, I might be able to salvage 5 or 6, but everything is on its side or upside down. And the amount of hive beetles in here is just crazy. They've done taken over like mad. And it's starting to stink too. Just complete. See the hive beetle juice dripping out of it? I don't know if you can see all this. That's what happens when a hive gets knocked over. Disgusting. Right there used to be my entrance where that 3-foot diameter tree is now laying. But that's life. All the foundation with hive beetle larvae go into a trash bag for decomposition. The plastic foundation will not decompose, but everything else will. In about 6 months, I'll take it out and power wash it. I cut my way in. Pulled out a lot of trash so far. That one was almost salvageable. I think that might be a viable one. It was hanging from the bottom of the limb. Got it to go in a nuke box. But the 4 hives, I just stood them up where I found them. They seem to all be doing well. one's really good activity. So I guess maybe 4 hives out of 17.
So fortunately, you see, he was able to salvage 4 hives or so, and that's a good thing, man. I'm happy he was able to get them. The thing is the bees are going to be clustered all over the place, so it's just an overwhelming feeling, I guess. Notice the frames in this video that were infested with small hive beetles. The minute the hive is weakened, those small hive beetles go into it and begin to lay so fast, and the little maggots come out. The bees can't clean them out, so he's separated everything. He looks like he's going to be able to, you know, at least salvage the frames and clean them and power wash them. It's the same thing I would do, re-wax them and move on. But man, my heart goes out to you. I know it's tough to get them back, but of course you're safe, your family's safe, and that's what matters. So y'all be keeping Justin in your thoughts. Got a lot of work to get his hives back up to speed. I don't know, Justin, whether those are all your hives or not. I just know that's 17 of them that got hit. I don't know if you have another bee yard somewhere else, but you know, hopefully those hives recover. But, you know, I remember in my poisoning I came through with about 7. No, I take that back. When I came out of the poisoning, I had 5 hives and I added 1 cutout, and so I started the next year down from 25 hives or 25 hives. I started the next year with like 5 or 6. A few of those were weak. You know, I fed them and I built them up in the spring, and you know, that next year we made a lot of honey by the grace of God. So it's just a lot of work, but he'll bounce back from this. The hives will be replaced. And again, you can't predict these things. Who would have thought that by the time that thing got west of Alexandria, it would have still been a category 2? It's just not something you can predict. So hopefully everything works out, and it will. Just looking at his operation, he's a beekeeper, knows what he's doing, and he's going to recover just fine. I recovered from a loss of, actually, and ironically enough, I told him in an email it was 17 hives myself is what got poisoned and killed outright. Now I lost a few more as it dwindled, but outright 17 hives knocked right off of the stands as far as poison. So I know what it's like to lose those kind of hives. He'll recover. He knows what he's doing. You can tell by looking at his bee yard. Well, hey guys, you know, Justin wanted to put out the video of what happened to him, and you know, hey, I guess thanks for letting me put it out. It means a lot to have your confidence in my videographer skills, but again, I'm just an average guy doing bees. But you guys, don't forget to you know, leave some comments of support for Justin. You know, it's a tough time when that happens, and again, I believe he'll make it through just fine. No problems. You can tell by his operation, he knows what he's doing. And by all means, don't forget to think about everybody down there. I haven't heard a bunch of reports yet of a lot of beekeepers. I know the president of the Louisiana Beekeepers Association is over there right now. She's addressing any needs for beekeepers out there. But really, most of all, the people that took losses on their homes and their livelihoods and their businesses. And yeah, people have insurance, but some don't. But keep them in your prayers. Keep all those folks in East Texas and Southwest Louisiana in your prayers and your thoughts. We've all been through it somewhere along the coast of Louisiana, and it's a tough time. It's easy to forget what happened down here with these folks. It's going to be an ongoing thing for them. So, you know, here and there, as you think about it, the news will shift to other things. The news will begin to leave Southwest Louisiana and East Texas. They will begin to leave Central Louisiana, and you won't hear much more about it. But don't you forget about everybody here. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate all you guys that are following through. I appreciate Justin for providing the video and showing you just what he's dealing with. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon, and God bless y'all.